What is going on, everybody? Captain Horn 23 here, and today we are going to be doing a full flight in the Cessna 172 Skyhawk G1000 in the brand new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Before we begin, guys, if you would like to see more Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Also, don't forget that I do have a Discord where you can find other people to fly with, including myself, and the link is in the description. So let's get right into this. Starting from the literal beginning, when you first get into the game, this is what you're going to see. Now, we will be taking a trip from Wilmington down to Myrtle Beach International Airport. I figured we'd take a nice beach cruise, and I have not even seen the beaches in the simulator yet, so that'll be perfect. What we're going to do is click on this world map here, of course, and this is just amazing. Like, every time I click in here, it's just awesome. I mean, I could use this as Google Earth. I mean, even, I'm not sure if you guys knew, but these clouds, they're accurate. Like, this is the hurricane right here that's hitting the United States currently. Anyway, first what we want to do is, of course, select our aircraft, and the Cessna G1000 is going to be right down here. There we go. Select that, and we can go out of there. Alright, and next what we're going to do is select our departure point, which is going to be Wilmington, which is right here. And now we do want to start at the gate. Now, another thing, I don't know if you guys knew, if you start at a runway, it's going to start the aircraft and like be ready for takeoff. And if you start at a gate, it will be cold and dark. So that is something I learned there. I'm just going to set ramp 30, why not, as our departure here. Alright, and our arrival is going to be Myrtle Beach. I'm not sure what this outer ring is. Maybe this is the distance that this Cessna can fly with full fuel or something like that. Anyway, let's get down here to Myrtle Beach. There's Ocean Isle, so there's Myrtle Beach right there. We're going to set it as an arrival. And guys, I am going to do an IFR. I mean, it's not going to be IFR. I'm going to do an instrument approach into Myrtle Beach just to show you guys how it's done. What you want to do, you can leave it direct like I have it here, so from Wilmington directly to Myrtle Beach. That can be changed right under the aircraft selection here. We have VFR direct to GPS, or we can do VOR to VOR, which is pretty much just literally doesn't change anything because there is no VORs in between this, I guess. Or we can do IFR low altitude airways, which gives us some waypoints. Or we could do high altitude airways, which is obviously impractical for a Cessna. So, of course, we're just going to leave this as direct GPS. I will also not be using the control tower because, unfortunately, air traffic control in this game is a total joke. Like, I am really disappointed in Microsoft Flight Simulator, or Microsoft in general, and Asobo. I mean, it's just a copy and paste from FSX. They better do something to fix it. It's just ridiculous. I absolutely do not like it at all. Now, guys, we are not going to be flying on live weather. I've actually clocked back the time here. But I am going to add some clouds whenever we get close to the runway, so we can do a ILS approach in this G1000 Cessna. So let's go ahead and hit that fly button, and I will get to you guys when we are sitting at the ramp. At the gate, or parking ramp, rather, at Wilmington Airport in North Carolina here. And I gotta say, this is a very bland general aviation ramp, but at least there's some buildings over there, right? And a bunch of cars. So anyway, let's hop into the cockpit and get this puppy up and running. Now, it's really simple to start up a Cessna 172. You can run through the checklist if you want, but there's not that many steps to starting up a Cessna. First thing you want to do is turn on your beacon light. Now, this alerts people outside the aircraft that your engines are about to start, and you of course want to get the battery on in order for that beacon to start up. Just like that, we see it on our tail right here. It's flashing red. Alright, next what we want to do is turn on our fuel pumps for 3 to 5 seconds, or that's what it says in the checklist. Make sure your mixture is pushed all the way in and your throttle up about 25%, just like that. Alright, and now we can shut off this fuel pump and simply turn this switch all the way to the right. And there we go. The engine is now running. And now we can turn on our avionics, which is these white switches here. There we go. And we can release the throttle out. Just like that. And guys, since we did program our flight plan in the world map there, we do have a flight plan actually in the G1000, so that's a very useful feature. Same way, if you're in a commercial jet and you set up a route in the world map, it would automatically populate your FMC. So that's pretty darn useful there. Alright guys, next thing we want to do is get on our taxi light, and we can get our nav lights on. Not the strobes just yet, that's for takeoff. And pitot heat you can turn on if you wish, but you really only need pitot heat whenever it's really cold outside. So if you're like flying in Alaska, your pitot tube is right here, and it can freeze over and therefore cause your indicated airspeed to be way off. Alright, so I'm not going to turn on the pitot heat there. Alright, and before we taxi, we might as well go ahead and set our altitude. I'm going to be cruising at 4,500 feet today, because it is generally west, I guess you could say. I mean, it's pretty much south, but anyway, we'll just leave it at 4,500 feet. And generally, VFR aircraft do cruise at 1,000 feet plus 500. Alright, next what we want to do is, in fact, listen to the ATIS. And I said I wasn't going to use air traffic control, which I'm not, but I will listen to the ATIS here. Is the ATIS just not even going to play? Well, that's weird. And that's new. Yeah, the ATIS isn't even going to play. Alright, well, generally, guys, you would listen to the ATIS and get your altimeter and just general information about the current state of the airport. So it'd read clouds at probably like 4,000 feet or so, scattered. The altimeter, I have no idea. And temperature, dew point, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm really not sure why the ATIS is not working at all. But anyway, I guess I will just leave the altimeter at 29 or 902 for now. Alright, we need to get this screen up here. And next, what we want to do is click this CDI button to make sure it does say GPS. And we can see our route here via this purple line. So if I zoom out, we see it right there. Very nice. Alright guys, so with that being said, we are now ready to taxi to an active runway. And I don't even know where I should taxi because the ATIS is not working. So I'm just going to taxi straight down to that runway right there. Hopefully the winds are calm and it won't really matter which runway we go to. Alright guys, so I'm going to let off the parking brake and begin the taxi to the runway. Just like this. And I will get to you guys when we are holding short. We're now holding short of the runway, and all we really have to do now is get some lights on. So I will turn on my strobe light and my landing light for takeoff. It looks so nice. I like it a lot. And then we can lower our flaps just one notch. Just like that. And we are, in fact, ready for takeoff, guys. I got my altitude set. The GPS is on via the CDI button, and we are ready to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull onto the runway. And I did take an intersection because the Cessna does not need that much room at all in order to take off. Alright guys, we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and give it full throttle. And I don't know why, but sometimes it does tend to pull to the left. And I don't know if it's because of torque or what, but it just seems a little over-exaggerated. Now see, this time it's pulling to the right actually. Alright, there's 55 knots. We can go ahead and pull the aircraft off the ground. And yeah, you can see it was like pulling to the right there. Alright. Now we're just going to maintain the runway heading for now, and this is all me, so I'm actually going to trim it out. And we are actually at our best climb rate in a Cessna, which is about 75 knots. Or 80, either one. Between 70 and 80 is a very good climb. And our flaps do go up at above 300 feet. Alright, and we are currently at 300 feet now, so I'm going to go ahead and lift those flaps up. At this point we can go ahead and turn off our taxi light, which is going to be right there, but we are under 10,000 feet, so of course we do want to keep our landing light on. There we go. I'm actually going to start a bank to the right here because our line is off to the right. We can even tell that by this arrow here. We want to be pointing towards this arrow to get in route. And ooh, it's a little turbulent up here so far. Ooh, there's quite a lot of turbulence up here. Man, this is a very nice view. I do gotta say that Microsoft and Asobo really did a wonderful job on the graphics of the simulator. Just the trees are 3D, I mean the houses are 3D, everything is so nice. And what's even better is this all is accurate, so you know whenever you look out the window that is exactly what it'd look like from the air. I mean, not exactly, but pretty dang close there. Alright guys, at this point I am going to engage the autopilot and get my flight director on, which it should be. There we go. Alright, our autopilot is on, and I'm going to go ahead and get flight level change on at 80 knots. And it's going to be a little wonky like it always is there. And after that, our CDI is on GPS, so I'm going to hit this nav button there. And that will start getting us en route to Myrtle Beach. Check out the exterior view. And one other thing about the simulator is that's beautiful is the clouds. Amazing clouds. I mean, the clouds just do it for me. Just look at those. They just look so good. I mean, X-Plane 11 had crap clouds. FSX had even better clouds than X-Plane 11. Prepared, I'm not sure. I never flew it. But they were all 2D clouds, and these are 3D volumetric clouds that are actually moving, which is amazing. Microsoft and Asobo definitely outdid themselves here. Now there is a few bugs that they do need to fix, but that will definitely come with future updates. And there's the airport that we have just departed from, looking very nice from this altitude. Alright, and our autopilot is getting us on course on this here purple line. Alright, and our distance to Myrtle Beach is 58 nautical miles, which is not too bad at all. Man, it just looks so good. I could just look out this window forever. It's just so nice. I can't wait. I hadn't even done any big flights in large aircraft like the A320 or the 747 or the 787. That's going to be great, flying all the way to Europe in that. Man, that'll be awesome. Alright guys, so we're just over halfway to Myrtle Beach. And yeah, so I leveled off at 4,500 feet here. And now I want to show you guys something. You see how my airspeed is kind of dropping, but we're pretty much level. That's because our mixture is still pushed all the way in, and my throttle is also all the way in. Now, your RPMs, mine are currently in the green, which is good, but we can push it all the way up into this white, just as long as we don't go into the red. And now this right here is showing the, I guess, the efficiency of the engine, you can say. So if I pull this mixture out, keep an eye on this little arrow right there. So as I pull it out, you see it just jumped, and now our RPMs have increased into the white. So we are adjusting the mixture. Now you can't go too far out, because it'll go back down and eventually cut the engine. So you want to try to find that good balance, which for me is like right when it gets pulled out, just like that. And we are now increasing our airspeed again, and I can actually cut back on the throttle, just like that. Alright guys, so we are about to approach Myrtle Beach, so we're going to go ahead and set up our arrival into our Garmin G1000. Now that's really simple. All you have to do is go to procedures here, select approach. I'm going to do sure ILS 18. I mean, I'm not using air traffic control, so I'm just going to pick a runway. Alright, that's good there. And we will go ahead and activate that approach. And now it is bringing me on this route, which is Not what I was hoping for. I was hoping we'd actually go out over the ocean, but this works out fine as well. Alright, the next thing we want to do is get our ILS frequency in, and I'm actually going to use SkyVector for that, if you guys saw in my G1000 tutorial. So I'm going to type in the ICAO code for Myrtle Beach here and zoom right in on the airport. Alright, and here we have it. There we go. Now I'm going to right click and grab ILS or localizer runway 18. And you know what? No, I do want to come in over the ocean, so I'm going to change my approach to ILS 36 right there. And we'll activate that approach instead, so we can come in over the ocean, just like that. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Alright, and so instead we're going to look at the ILS for runway 36. Here's our good old chart here. We see we come in right here, and we just come right into the runway right there. Alright, and here's our localizer, which is a 111.9. It's also shown right here in the top left of the chart. And our course 357 is also plugged in right there. Now, I'm going to set 111.9 in my nav radios right here, just like that. And I'm curious to see, I'm going to wait till this levels back out, if my course is automatically set. Because when I did the G1000 video, my course did automatically set onto the runway. I mean, the proper course of the runway. So we're going to see, I'm going to go ahead and switch it now. Alright, I'm going to engage heading hold. Now that's a bug right there too. You notice I pressed synchronize the current heading, but it's over here, almost east, when it needs to be right here where I'm flying 199. So I'm just going to turn it there and engage heading hold. Alright, now I'm going to switch our CDI over to localizer, and it does in fact set up that course because it's 357. Okay, cool. And if I do try to change this course, I have to be off the frequency, and it just switches to BR1. Okay, so that's important to note, guys. You'll know if you've got the correct frequency plugged in by 1, looking at the charts and just knowing, or 2, whenever you have that frequency active, this will switch to localizer 1, just like that, and it'll automatically set your course. So we are good there. I will go back on to navigation mode now. And I'm actually going to adjust some cloud layers here. Alright. I want these clouds very, very low. Like, not that low. About that is good there. I'm actually going to... Okay, did not want to do that. Oh, I can increase the altitude there, the scatter, and increase that and the coverage over the ground. Yeah, this is really look like an ILS approach now, but you can't see the ground. Alright. But I would actually like to see the ocean, so I'm going to raise this up just like that. And wow, let's get a look at this beach here. Looks, as we would expect, the ocean looks amazing. We're actually going to go into the free camera here and increase my drone speed so I can get ahead of this aircraft. We're going to fly down to this beach. Wow, look at that, guys. There's a windmill spinning. That's pretty cool. Now, of all the times I've been to Myrtle Beach, I've not once seen a windmill. But yeah, wow, look at this water. This water texture is just amazing. Is there waves, though? It does not look like it. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. But, I mean, you can see visuals of waves, but you can't actually see them crashing in on the beach. Alright, and we have Myrtle Beach International. It's going to be somewhere right over there. That is some random airport there. But yeah, I mean, overall the coast, it does look very, very good. It's pretty much how I would expect. You can see our aircraft way over there going over the ocean. Alright, and I'm actually going to reset these clouds here. And I'm going to make sure that we can't see anything until we land. And that is not true. I mean, look, there's a huge break in the clouds right here. Alright, so I'm going to set that up further. Let's see, altitude is bottom at 0. Alright, the scatter, oh, and the cover, oh man, there we go. Jeez, yeah, look at that, that's perfect. This is like super foggy. This is going to be like right down to minimums. Alright, and oh my lord, we are in a cloud now, so I'm actually, gosh almighty, why was the top so high? There we go. Looks like we're going to have a very foggy approach into Myrtle Beach today. Wow, I love the fact that you can adjust the clouds when you're in the air like that. Alright, and yep, we are still going to be right down the minimums here. Alright guys, I'll get back to you guys whenever we are actually on the localizer. Alright guys, we're pretty much almost on final. Now, we're about to intercept this Chaka waypoint. And if we look at the IFR or the ILS chart, we'll notice right here, Chaka at the bottom. This is kind of like a horizontal view. We do want to be at 1,600 feet or above. That's what this line means. Now, we are above 1,600 feet, sitting at 4,500, but I can tell you we do not want to be that high in order to intercept this localizer. So I'm going to knock it down to 1,600 feet, just like that, and engage flight level change, and reduce my throttle. Just like that, and flight level change will point our nose down to try and maintain that 102 knots there. Alright, and the GPS is now turning us towards Chaka. And we're actually going to be, well, it did say at or above 1,600 feet. So we are going down, and we see our glide slope diamond has already appeared here, which is very nice. And we are about to descend into nothing but white clouds. They're probably going to be gray when we get down there. And I'm unable to obtain the altimeter. I mean, there's no ATIS or anything. Alright, we're about to cross the Chaka. And I'm going to reduce my throttle further to get us closer to that 1,600 mark where we want to be. And we're now banking in towards Chaka. This is looking very good. I don't like the way the cloud textures look right now because I increased the coverage so much. Alright guys, and I'm going to go ahead and switch CDI over to Localizer 1 and engage the approach button there. Just like that. And wow, yeah, as we see we're already going above the glide slope. That's why I'm trying to descend pretty quickly here. And if we look at our G1000, we can actually see the runway right there, which is very neat. Here we go. We are about to cross into these clouds. Man, it looks like we could just about land on them. Alright guys, and descending into these clouds, I'm going to go ahead and get that taxi light back on. Just like that. There we go, and we are coming up on the Pork waypoint there. And if we look back at our chart, here's the Pork waypoint right here, and we need to be at 1,600 feet here. There's no lines or anything. Oh, actually, yes, there is right here, 1,600 or above still, but we are going to be at 1,600, and this is where our glide slope should take effect. And we'll see that we are 3.2 nautical miles out from the actual runway when we cross this waypoint. And I'm not sure that either the simulator is incorrect or the chart or something, and my bet is on, oh, never mind, okay, this is the distance from Pork. And I'm going to go ahead and give it some more throttle, because we are a little low here. I didn't realize the altitude finally leveled off. Alright. We have plenty of airspeed now. Pretty much straight in line with the localizer here. I was just messing around with some settings there. Alright, and we're coming up on Pork. And we can actually see the airspace in the G1000 right here. It's pretty neat. And we can't really see the altitude restrictions, but we can see the orange lines right here and the purple lines. So that's really nice. And now you'll notice whenever we're coming up on the Pork intersection, and our glide slope is pretty much level. We're about to hit the glide slope. And we can see our runway right there. And it just switched to GS, and we are now on the glide slope. And whew, yep, look out the windows, guys. How would you like to do a visual approach like this? I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be that bad, because the G1000, I mean, you can just look at this screen and pretty much get yourself down to the ground. But, I mean, come on, you definitely want to do an ILS approach here, for sure. And at Pork, we are 3.8 nautical miles away from the runway. At this point, I can go ahead and lower my flaps down 1 notch in preparation for landing. And glide slope is holding very steady right now. You guys, you always want this diamond to be in the middle of these white dots. Essentially, if it's down here, that means you're too high. If it's up here, you're too low. And of course, you want this localizer to be pretty much straight on. And there is a way to get the wind information on your actual G1000 here. And yeah, here we go. You hit PFD and then wind, and I use option 3. So okay, it is blowing us this way. We do have a crosswind right now. And we can leave that wind right there. It's blowing at 265 degrees at 4 knots. And okay, wow, we are actually getting a little bit of visuals, and we can barely see the runway right there, which is pretty nice. Yeah, we can start to see the ground now. That's funny, when I was just up there, I couldn't.
500.
Alright, there's our 500 call out. I'm going to go ahead and lower flaps 2 for our approach into Myrtle Beach. And I don't even have to touch anything else. Yeah, we can see that the plane is kind of flying this way to counteract for the wind. And yeah, we're getting a nice view of the beach. Alright, and I'm going to actually disengage the autopilot when we are close enough to the runway. Our PAPI lights are white over red, which is good. Yeah, it is a little bumpy coming down here. There goes our autopilot. And I really don't even have to touch it. Too much, at least. Ooh, very bumpy. Wind's still hitting us about 3 knots. And we're just gonna ease her down from here on out. And touchdown. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and brake. Wow, I'm getting huge stutters. Alright, there we go. Finally smoothed out. There we go. Welcome to Myrtle Beach International Airport, everyone. And I'm not sure where the general aviation ramp is on this airport. It's right over there back behind us. So I'm going to turn off the runway at this next taxiway to the left. I go ahead and get my flaps all the way up, and there's another massive stutter. Amazing. I hope Microsoft definitely fixes that. I've noticed that quite like very often. Alright, I'm going to ease it onto this taxiway here. Alright, and at this point, guys, we can go ahead and turn off our landing lights and taxi to the ramp, which is going to be right ahead of us. This general aviation parking is very far away at this airport. I love how there's just a truck sitting in the middle of the taxiway too. That's amazing. We're just going to go right through it. Yet another bug that Microsoft needs to fix. Oh, and look at that. We have a fire truck sitting on the taxiway as well. Amazing. But anyway, I'm not complaining, guys. This game is phenomenal. I mean, we can all expect a few bugs that need to be worked out in the beginning, and we got to cut them some slack. I'm just going to park in right here. There we go. I'm going to pull the plane around. And we'll just park it right here. Very nice. Alright, guys, we're going to set the parking brake just like that. And we're going to shut off our engine, which you just turn this all the way to the left. Just like that. Alright, guys, all our lights can come off. Our avionics can go off. Throttle's out. Make sure you can go all the way in. Parking brake is set. And our batteries can get switched off. And there we have it, guys. We have just landed at Myrtle Beach International Airport. Now, see, this is what I wish it looked like whenever I was coming in for the landing. Alright, guys, but anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the flight from Wilmington down to Myrtle Beach International Airport. If you have any suggestions of what videos you'd like to see next on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, be sure to leave a comment below. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to join the Discord, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys in the next video.